Hi guys, it's me, Trudy Lee. How's everybody doing? I am doing fine. Really, really hot. Just got back from the grocery store. The car didn't even cool down by the time I got back home. It is terrible. It's 103 degrees, y'all. So we have summer, going out like a lion here. I hope you guys are staying nice and cool. Hopefully, some of you are getting a little bit of fall weather. So our weather will change by next week. We have a chance of rain, I think, by Wednesday of next week. By then, it should be in the 90s, and we should be past all this 100 plus. So we've gone over 70 days straight with it being over 100 degrees. It's enough. It's enough. Please send some cool weather. The grass is crunchy and dry, any little spark could set it off. It's, pretty scary around here. We really need some rain and some cooler air. So I wanted to do a reading on Biden, Hunter Biden, because they said he's going to be indicted very soon. So I wanted to take a look at him and see what's going on and what's coming up for him in the future. And I have the cards laid out, and I'm going to read them to you. But the first thing that Spirit wanted to, bring forth a message first of all. So I think maybe when I do these political readings, that I can bring forth a message beforehand, and I think that would be very good. So I always ask for guidance before I start, and I'm going to tell you what Spirit has to say. This is about listening to your intuition. Okay, so this, think of it like this, like a blind mouse. Okay, a blind mouse can sense where to go, where, if there's danger, where they need to run away, where they need to hide, where they can be safe. Even if they're blind, they know where to go. They know what to do. And why is that? Because they have intuition. They can sense. They have a sense of what to do and where to go. But you're not a mouse. I'm not a mouse. But you do have this innate sense of direction, just like a blind mouse. And you perceive danger also. But some of us override that. A lot of us do override that system, and we just ignore all these subtle signs and feelings that we're getting because our ego minds try to explain away everything. I don't think I ought to do that, or I shouldn't do that, or I don't need to do that, or why should I do that? We have too many questions. But the blind mouse doesn't hesitate because he doesn't have that ego mind questioning his moves and his actions. Now, there's a huge difference in knowing bad decisions and making, taking action, not taking action. And you know the difference between that. And you know that because you have a perfectly sound mind, right? So let's say you're hiking in the backcountry and you come across a bear. Would you take out some food and offer it part of your lunch? So you know the difference between right and wrong, making a bad decision. It's likely your intuition would be saying, don't run, back away, yell at the bear, back away. Your mind is screaming, run, get the hell out. Every cell in your body is like on fire saying, run, run. But intuitively, you know better than to run away from the bear, right? So it's a little bit of your intelligence and your intuition that works together. And you have to rely on both of them and know when to tell them apart. okay? And most of the time, your intuition is actually getting your attention in a much more subtle way, um, like reoccurring thoughts, okay? You think the same thing over and over and over. That's your guides giving you a signal and your intuition that you need to get going in the right direction and take action. So let's say you're thinking about calling a friend or a relative, your brother, your sister, or something like that, and you haven't done it, but you're thinking, I really need to call my friend. And then you think again about it. I need to call my friend. I should call my friend and check on my friend. And you keep thinking about it, but then you don't do it. And then you find out that they really needed to hear from you and something happened. And maybe you get some news that's not so great. Or sometimes they were just thinking of you and wanted that connection. Okay, so this is the way Spirit will help you follow your intuition and act on them. So they'll keep a reoccurring thought coming and coming and coming, kind of pushing you and guiding you to act on it. And the more frequently that you start acting on it, the clearer the communication will become, and you will be able to decipher when your guides are speaking to you and trying to make a point, and then you can start listening to your guides, and you'll find out that they have a whole lot to say. So that's a little message about listening to your intuition. Okay, now that we have that out of the way, I'm going to take a look at Hunter Biden. You know, the Republicans are desperately seeking to hurt President Biden through his son. You know, they're trying to get some dirt on him any which way they can. They've been investigating Biden for years and years and years now. When Trump was in office, they were investigating him. And do you remember, you guys that have been with me for a long time, remember when it first came out that Biden's laptop had been turned over to, you know, the FBI had collected it and they had it. And I told you guys this was a real thing. This really happened. This was really his laptop. He really did leave it at this repair shop. So evidently he turned over 3 different laptops to be repaired, but he was, you know, in the height of his drug addiction and he didn't remember doing it. Or he'll even say right now that, I don't know if I did that. Maybe somebody else turned them in. I mean, who would go and say, I'm Hunter Biden, here's my laptops, fix it. And the guy that, you know, that the repairman, he said it was Hunter Biden that dropped him off. But in the reading at that time, I did say, I remember clearly that this really is Hunter Biden's laptops, and he really did forget about them and leave them at the repair shop. But that doesn't give somebody the right to invade another person's privacy, in my opinion, and expose, you know, all this personal data, all these pictures, all these emails, the social security number, you know, private moments that he had in the bedroom. And, you know, y'all stop taking pictures like that. It'll come back to haunt you. So even if it's on your laptop or on your phone, you'd think it's, you know, no one's going to see it but you never know. So y'all don't take those kind of pictures. Doesn't a repair shop have to follow privacy laws? You know, you would think that they would have to, especially something as sensitive as that. I do know that the owner of the repair shop, he's a Trump supporter, you know, and after looking at everything on Hunter Biden's laptop, he downloaded all the information. You know, he made copies of everything. His name is John Paul Mac Isaac, but I think he goes by Mac. I was just wondering, is he going to be held accountable? I know Hunter Biden At one point, he's filed suit against him. And I just am wondering if Spirit can let us know if he's going to be held accountable for, invasion of privacy or whatever it is. It seems like he would be. So I pulled 3 cards on that, and I'm going to read them to you. All right. The first card that I pulled is King of Wands. So President Biden is showing up here. And, even though he's saying every time he's asked about Hunter Biden, he'll say, I'm not commenting on this investigation. But clearly, he wants Isaac to be held accountable, for, invading his son's privacy and for, giving all these pictures and all this stuff to the Republicans. Because if it wasn't for this Isaac, all this stuff wouldn't be public. So he definitely wants him held accountable for it. 7 of Swords. This is that sneaky, it was sneaky, it was underhanded, it was wrong. He thinks he's going to get away with it. But this indicates to me that ultimately he will not get away with it, and he will be held, liable for what he's done to Hunter Biden. He's not going to get away with it. It was so underhanded, to make copies of everything on his laptop and then hand it over to the Republicans. The last card I pulled is the Hanged Man, and it was actually in the reverse position. So it's not looking good for this Mac Isaac guy. He's made one bad decision after the other. And I really feel like he is between a rock and a hard spot, okay? But his own doing, he put himself in this position. But right now, he's very fearful about what's going to happen, and not just from the lawsuits, but he's afraid for his life. He really is. Because if he admits that he shouldn't have copied Biden's laptop, then the crazy Republicans will be out to get him. Right now, the Democrats are out to get him, and Hunter Biden's out to get him, But if he, says anything like, okay, maybe he's thought about making a deal, but how can he? Because now he's afraid for his life. He really is. And as we know, Republicans will stop at nothing to get what they want. And also we know that Hunter Biden took a job in Ukraine, right, with Barisma during the Obama administration when his father was a VP. Hunter was paid $1 million the first year that he worked for Barisma. So it was very lucrative for him. And there was an email in his laptop, allegedly, okay, from an advisor to Barisma board about him meeting the vice president, his father. So there's something like, it said, thank you for inviting me to D.C. and giving me the opportunity to meet your father. So this guy that was an advisor to Barisma's board got to meet Vice President Biden. And that supposedly there's an email, and that's what, everybody is foaming at the mouth about this, okay? That's what the Republicans are all saying, that he profited off his father. Now, and, I don't know. But that's what the Republicans are claiming, that Barisma used their connections to the White House to stop investigating the company. All right? That's what's going on. And I pulled a few more cards here. So there's an investigation into Hunter Biden's doings, wrongdoings, doing, if he did or didn't. I just want to know, did Hunter profit from his dad being in the White House? So is that true that he profited from that, setting up meetings, come meet my dad, and if he profited it in some way, which, isn't hard to imagine, really. The first card I pulled on that is the Devil card. So the Devil card to me is all about behaving badly, doing something wrong. So we know Biden had drug problems, and he did a lot of things, He, made all kinds of nude pictures. He was doing all kinds of things at that time. And thanks to Marjorie Greene, everybody has seen those pictures, but he did behave badly. I do feel that he did try to profit off his father being VP. I do believe that this is part of that behavior. That being said, I think that probably every person that is related to a vice president or a president, if they have that opportunity to profit from them, they probably would do it in some way or another, even if it's not financially, the prestige of it, you know what I mean? My dad's VP. Would you like to come to the, this White House function and meet my dad? Because he's VP, you know what I mean? So I feel like this is a no-brainer, Did he do something illegal? I don't feel like it was so much illegal, but I do feel like he did profit from it, okay? All right. 9 of Cups. We should all feel good knowing that President Biden had no idea that his son was profiting, and he was not a part of this setup at all. He was oblivious to it. Anything that Hunter was doing, he had no part in it. And we should all feel good about that and, be proud of President Biden because he's an upstanding president. 7 of Wands. So this is all about defending himself. So Hunter Biden, he may never admit to his behavior. And like I said, I promise you that there's a lot of people that are in the same boat as Hunter Biden. A lot of kids, a lot of cousins, uncles, brothers. A lot of them are in the same boat as him. And I feel that he will successfully defend himself. And I feel like he's being made the scapegoat. So yes, he had some bad behavior. Yes. Did he try to profit? Yes, he probably did. Is it something illegal? No, I don't think so. And I feel like he's just being made a scapegoat. Okay? So after, all this theater, all this allegations of wrongdoing, the DOJ prosecutors are seeking to indict Hunter Biden, have a few more, on buying a firearm, okay, while being a drug user. Because, when you're doing drugs, you don't need to be using a firearm or buying a firearm. So that's what they are going to indict him with. Is that all they have on him? My goodness. Now, Hunter had back taxes that he owed for, and I believe that has been paid. There was a plea deal on the table, okay? I think it was to plead guilty to 2 misdemeanors charges for failing to file taxes in 2017 and 18. And the deal was if he pled guilty to those, he would avoid the felony gun charge by entering into this 2-year diversion program. But when they came before the judge and the judge started asking questions about it, saying, will this include immunity from other charges in the future? And I guess his defense team thought it did include that, and the prosecutor said, no, it doesn't. So then the deal went kaput, because they were like, no, we don't have a deal at all, because he's not going to do this all over again. So they're going to charge him with something else and something else and something else. They wanted to wrap this up in a nice, pretty bow, okay, and have immunity from being prosecuted again. And the prosecutor said, no, that's a no-go. So I want to know, what is the outcome looking like at this time for Hunter Biden? What is it looking like? So I have 3 cards here. The first card is 4 of Swords. The longer that this drags on, the better it actually is for Hunter Biden. His lawyers are preparing his defense, and they are up for this challenge. So, if they've learned anything from Trump, it's drag things out. And that's what they're doing. 7 of Coins. All the effort that this law firm, is making is really having a positive effect. They are negotiating still, even though it looks like they're not. They're still talking and negotiating things. I do believe that they're going to work out. I think they're going to be successful at negotiating some kind of deal for Biden. I really do. And this is King of Cups. So no doubt Joe Biden loves his son. This is about a balance, So like I said before, we've heard Biden say that he wouldn't pardon his son, that he's not going to do that. He has, if he gets himself in trouble, he's in trouble, right? But, I believe that no matter what, he will end up, if need be, if it comes down to it, he will pardon his son. This is all about balancing out the emotions, and he would. So it will turn out okay. It will turn out, it'll turn out okay for Biden no matter what, because his father will pardon him. Now, they don't want to go down that, path. They don't want to do that. But if need be, he's not going to let his sons, that's his last son, his only son, and his son's been through a lot. He got on drugs and everything after his brother died, and, he went through all kinds of stuff, went through a divorce and everything. Yes, he had bad behavior. Yes, he went through a horrible time. But, he's off drugs now. Thank goodness for that. We should be very proud of him. A lot of people aren't able to do that, and he's been able to pull himself up by the bootstraps. So, and he knows it. He knows his father will pardon him. So, he's trying to not be a blemish on his father and make his father, pardon him. But his father will, if need be. So he's going to be fine. He's going to be okay, y'all, no matter what. Of course, Biden will say that to everybody because, elections coming up and everything, and they're going to try to drag this all out, drag it out. Election comes up. If anything else happens, if he's in Biden gets reelected, he's in his last term, he's going to pardon his kid. Who cares, Who would not pardon their own child? Come on. Maybe Trump wouldn't. Trump would in a heartbeat. All right, guys, that's the reading on Biden. I think he's going to be okay. I really do. And I think the guy that turned over his data, that Isaac, I think he's gonna be held accountable. I think so. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. If you'd like to get a healing session with me, I'm doing healing sessions every single day. I love to do those. If you have somebody that you love that needs a healing, please just send me their name. You can just email me their name, tell me what's going on. And you don't have to tell me if you don't want to, but you can just ask for healing, and I will send healing to them. If you would like a reading, email me. I'm doing, chakra balancing, energy work, anything that you need. Hopefully I can help you with. So I love you guys so much. Please do something kind for somebody. It'll always come back to you. And I will talk to y'all soon. Bye for now.